Cowrywise hosts Simplified once every month, and it is a session, just 1 hour, right, of your time. But it's a session to help break down how money works for everyday people. So in a way that, we don't complicate things, we don't make it overly structured or serious. Like, it's just an evening. That's why it's Friday evening, right? We don't make it super serious. And today's session is going to be about personal finance for entrepreneurs. But before we go into the first session, because we have 2 speakers, right? Omobolaji and Jennifer. If you've joined Simplified before, you will know that this is something I like to do. I like to say hello to everybody. Since we're not even that many here, I'm just going to say hello. And if you hear your name, please type hi in the chat box. So welcome, Jerry. Welcome, Emanuela. Welcome, Celestina Precious. Welcome, Ayotunde. Welcome, Yila. Welcome, Victory. Toysville, Popo Olafin, Folua, Naomi, Jonathan. Welcome, Ganiat. Another Emanuela, or the former one. Welcome, Chima. Welcome, Akinyemi. And welcome, Omobolaji as well. So I am Omobolaji. Our first speaker is Omobolaji. So in case, don't get it mixed up. So hi everyone. I can see some hi, hello in the chat box. Celestina says she can't hear me. If you can hear me, please can you put maybe an emoji in the chat box, or say, or type that you can hear me. If you can't hear me, okay, I see someone's hand. Can you hear me, please? Okay, I see another emoji. You can hear. Awesome. Thank you so much for letting me know. I appreciate that. Okay, so awesome. Good to know that you can hear. As I started to say earlier, that today's session is personal finance for entrepreneurs. And I guess that's one of the reasons we might not be so many this evening, right? Because, not everybody identifies as an entrepreneur, even though I feel like everybody should identify as an entrepreneur, whether you have a 9-to-5 or not, right? And why are we hosting this? Why do we think it is important to talk to entrepreneurs about money? So I was saying that why are we hosting a session on money? Right, for entrepreneurs? And it is because, if you saw the registration page, we mentioned how a lot of entrepreneurs focus a lot on building their business, and that's important, right? It's important to know how to grow your business. It's important to know how to make money in your business, manage money, pay your staff if you have staff, all of those things, right? But also, how do you help yourself as you are growing your business, right? So if that is a knowledge that you feel like you need, trust me, this will be a fantastic session. This will be a 1 hour well spent, right, for your Friday evening. So let's jump right to it, to the first speaker. Thank you, Victory. I can see that you are helping Celestina, right? So our first speaker for today is Omobolaji Balogun. So Omobolaji is the finance manager at Cowrywise. Omobolaji, has such in-depth knowledge, right, about what we're talking about this evening. So please make sure that you are not one of those people that you just join Zoom and your mind isn't here, but that you are actually listening. So please, let's welcome Omobolaji Balogun. Hi, Omobolaji, welcome.
Hello, Omobolaji. Thank you so much. So my namesake, so the difference between our name is just the O. So like she said, I am the finance manager for Cowrywise. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm happy to have all of you in attendance. Thank you so much for dedicating this 1 hour to hear about personal finance for entrepreneurs. So I'll just dive right in. I have a slide I would like to present, so just give me a moment. So there's this challenge that entrepreneurs have, and that is usually about separating their personal finance from their business finance. So it's very important that as entrepreneurs, we acknowledge and appreciate the importance of this interplay between the financial conditions of our business and the financial situation of us or of the owner, the entrepreneur. Because when we understand this interplay, then we'll be in a better position to effectively manage our finances. That is our personal finance as well as the business finance, so as not to risk the business's chance for survival. So this is why this topic is very important. And this separation of personal finance from business finance is what I'll be dwelling upon in this short presentation. So number one thing that you need to do as an entrepreneur is to get out of your way, or rather get out of your business way. So like I've said before, you need to separate your business finance from your personal finance. So, and as you can see in that picture, yes, you are the person, the individual, you are also the entrepreneur. So it's very important that you're able to wear different caps at different times, especially when you are dealing with the finances of the business. You wear the business finance, you become, the business cap rather, become the entrepreneur in that position. But when it is your personal finance, then you become your individual, the individual like Omobolaji now. So in order to be able to do this perfectly well, and this is very important, that we do not merge these two finances together, because how will you be able to tell that our company is making profits, is breaking even, if we cannot even separate our own personal business from that of the companies? And how can we do this? One way to do this effectively is to embrace the cashless policy. I know that statistics show that a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs in Nigeria are embracing this policy. That is, they try as much as possible to have their sales proceed or payment for services paid into their bank accounts. In fact, in the market, when you go to Lagos market, for instance, most times I go to Lagos market without taking cash with me. All I have to do is just to get the bank account number of the vendor I'm buying something from and pay directly into our account, and that is just cool. But in this case, when we are talking about this embracing the cashless policy, we are talking about having a separate bank account for your business. So should you be you have a registered business name, that is just cool. You can have that account in your registered business name. If you're a registered corporate, that's fine too. You can have it in your registered company's name. But so let's say you are not in these two brackets, you don't have a registered business name, you're not a registered corporate, but you are still, just like a small business. Yes, you can have a dedicated separate bank account to deal with your company's finance. You just dedicate it. This is my business account. So you don't put your personal money in that bank account. Another thing that can help us to fully embrace this policy is to let our customers know that we do not accept cash as a means of payment for goods and services. Yeah, I know this might be hard sometimes. Some customers might say, I don't want to do transfer. It's going to take a while. I'll be charged and all of that. So in that case, then we can then go to this third point. If you have customers that are not willing to pay into the business account, then you have to take a few minutes, first of all, to generate a receipt, have something pre-printed as a receipt, and take some few minutes to write out a receipt for every cash collected. You can delegate this to someone in your business if you are that good enough, if you are that big enough to have additional staff in your payroll. And when you're also buying things from vendors, you want to insist on receipts. The purpose of this is if you are able to, so in a case where you now collect cash, you'll be able to separate your business finance, your business's cash from your personal cash if you have documents to evidence the transactions. So I hope that is clear. I hope you're following along with me. So another point that I would like us to talk about now, coming to us as individual, is that as a person, as an individual, you have to save, you have to invest, and you have to also insure. And when you do this you have to repeat. I would advise that you approach your business funds as you would your personal funds. You want to know that you want to have records of your inflows as well as your outflows. The same is expected of your personal finance. So you should have a plan around it. You have a budget for it. You should know how much is coming in and how you intend to spend. And you do not just want to spend, you also want to have a certain percentage for saving. In fact, among financial enthusiasts, who say pay yourself first. That means dedicate a certain percentage to your saving first before you use the balance to take care of your other spends or expenditure. Not we don't want it to be the other way around, where you first of all spend and you say, okay, is what I have left that I'll be saving. No, save first, then spend next. And out of the saving, you should want your money to work as hard as you're working. So if you want that to happen, then you need to invest. So investing makes your money work as hard. And thank God we are in an era where a lot of people are financially conscious, financially intelligent, and a lot of corporation, fintechs, promote literacy and helping us to save. One such fintech is Cowrywise that is sponsoring this event. So we have a lot of products in our apps. You can download it, where you can then use those products to save and invest your savings. And most importantly, you need to ensure, don't forget, two lives. Let me put it that way. 2 lives is resting on your shoulder. Your own life and the life of your business. So if you want your business to be a going concern, to exist longer, then you need to take care of you need to protect your most valuable asset, that is yourself. And it's not just about protecting your life. It's not about just ensuring your life. You might also insure your assets. You might also insure the business's assets. And that takes us nicely to this 4th point. Your business is not an emergency plan. Your business is not an emergency plan. I'll say it again. Your business is not an emergency plan. I hope you can hear me loud and clear, or shall I project more for those at the back to hear? So even if your business is a side gig, it's best for you to pay yourself for your time and your expertise. Okay, so the amount you are paying yourself might not be up to the industry average or industry standard. We don't want to forget that even within the industry, there are stratas, there are levels to it. So I wouldn't expect now that you want to pay yourself what the CEO of any bank is paying himself, or is being paid rather, or what someone else is being paid, but pay yourself something to compensate for the time and expertise you use in your business. When you do this, it's easy for you not to turn your business into an emergency plan. So such that it's not every time an expense crop up that you quickly draw from your business's funds. But since you know you are being paid, your mind, you are able to separate the business fund from your own personal fund, and you're able to take care of your emergencies. And insurance will also help us to do that, just like I've mentioned before. Yes, someone once told me, a very respected boss and leader, said it's best for you to have something and not need it than to need it and not have it. So that such is the case for insurance. We might say, well, what about if the risk does not materialize? Yes, it might not materialize every month or every other month. But when it does materialize, we want to have a cover to take care of that, so that we'll not have to dip into our company's fund, thus ruining the chances of our company surviving for the long term, or even impacting on our own emotional health. I think with these few points, I don't know, Omobolaji. So with these few points of mine, I hope I've been able to convince you and not confuse you. Like, it's very important for you to separate this and manage your personal finance as you would your company's finance. Thank you.
Wow, Omobolaji, thank you so much for that. Like, I was taking notes and I'm like, this is actually so good. I've never heard that phrase, your business is not an emergency plan, because to me, I'm like, please let my business be my emergency plan. Why is it a business if it's not my emergency plan? Okay, I'm kidding, right? But thank you so much for that session. I actually took a lot from it, right? And I'll be sharing just before, Jennifer comes up, I'll be sharing some things that I took from your session, right? And then, you know, if you've learned anything from our session, please put it in the chat box as well, so that somebody else can learn. But I would just say, I think what I will pick out is the importance of insurance. So remember that if you joined earlier, I talked about how simplified sessions are really, as the name implies, they are simplified, right? We break down money for everyday people, right? And one thing a lot of business owners don't hear about in Nigeria is actually the power of insurance. So even though at Cowrywise, we don't, you know, insure businesses, we still think that because you are here and as a business-minded person, right, it is important to know that insurance can actually help you save money in the long run, right? So for example, you know, I would say merging insurance with not making your business your emergency plan. So let's say you have health insurance, right? And you know, you've paid maybe like not so much money, right, for your health insurance, and then something comes up that is not really, you know, a big deal or like a life-changing health situation. You can walk into a hospital because you have insurance, right? And it will be taken care of. Like, you will be given drugs for free, you'll be taken care of for free. But if you did not have insurance as a business person, the next thing I can bet, some people will say, no, I don't think about my business, but I can promise you, the first thing that will come to your head is, why am I doing the business? I beg, bring the money from the business and let me use that money, right, to take care of my health. I'm not saying don't use business money, you know, and keep it if you have like health issues. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just trying to connect both things, right? The importance of having insurance and how that can help you not make your business an emergency plan. Another thing that I took from your session, right, is you know, having a plan for your personal finance. So a lot of people here that are business people, I'm sure you know, every month you probably sit down and you take note of, you know, how much has come into your business and how much has gone out. But for your personal finance, you don't treat it with as much, you know, should I say, what's the word, like seriousness. Yes, let me use the word seriousness. Like when it comes to your business, everybody knows, hey, Omobolaji does not joke with her business, hey, this person does not joke with her business. But do you joke with your personal finance? You actually should not be joking with your personal finance. So have a plan for your business, but it is so important as well to have a plan for your personal finance. Pay yourself, right, and then have a plan for that money that you are paying yourself. So yeah, thank you so much. I can see someone has shared their notes here. Save before spending, pay yourself, separate your personal money from your business money. So important. Thank you, Omobolaji. One thing I really love and admire about Omobolaji is she might not be like me, you know, the troublemaker, but she will definitely pass her points across. And we've learned a lot from you this evening. So thank you so much, Omobolaji, for your time. Please don't go yet. I'm sure people might have questions, right? So wait till the end and then we'll take questions and then we can round up. Thank you. So now, guys, we will be listening to Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. Can you turn on your video if you're here? Yeah, Jennifer is in the car. Hi, Jennifer. So Jennifer, let me just introduce Jennifer with how I got to know about Jennifer, right? So one day randomly, my sister just sent me a DM. My sister knows that I'm a personal finance kind of person. I'm always now talking, because I work in Cowrywise, I talk about money a lot. There was even a day my elder sister was like, I beg, when you get to work, talk about money. Which one is the... right? And she sent me, you know, she sent me a link to Jennifer's Instagram, and I spent so much time there just learning. You know, she talks about investment, she talks about personal finance, and it's such a privilege to have you here, Jennifer. We know that the next few minutes will be really good, so please ensure that, you know, as you took time to hear from Omobolaji, take your time as well to hear from Jennifer. All right. Jennifer, you have the floor. You are muted. Please unmute yourself. We can't hear you.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. When you are too excited, you forget these things. Thank you so much for the invite, Cowrywise. I should be the one thanking you because I was listening to Omobolaji. I'm like, I should have paid for this section. Seriously. I loved how she's my senior colleague. Omobolaji, do you know you're my senior colleague? So hello. Thank you everyone for being here. I'm just going to build on what Omobolaji has done already. I loved how she was straight to the point and summarized everything. So I'm just going to build on that. So as entrepreneurs, as business owners, it's always a bit difficult for us to consider our personal finance. So if you always feel that if our business is doing well, we are doing well ourselves. I don't know what to say about that because I've done people, they have a good business, but at the end of the day, they can't pinpoint something they did with their money. You know, business is something that takes and takes. If you are not careful, like it will keep taking from you and you want to expand, you want to go into this, you want to go into that. At the end of the day, okay, let's assume if something happens to that business, are you secured? You get? So this is why even if our business is doing great, we still have to make plans for our personal finance. Personal finance is different from our business finance. I love how Omobolaji put it. She was like, you should treat these two things separately. Separate yourself from your business. That is very brilliant. So one thing I tell people is that if you don't have a business account yet, most businesses have, some do not have. If you do not have one, try to get one. But at the moment, all of us have most of us have more than one bank account. What you can do now is dedicate one, use it as your business account. In fact, your client comes to you, okay, I want to pay for this, send that account to them. You want to buy products, pay it from that account. Like, not at this account, even if you have the ATM, you have the backup for it, it is strictly for business. What you can now do is that as a business owner, yeah, you deserve to be paid. Omobolaji mentioned that. So what you can now do now, this one is your business account. Month end, place yourself on a salary. Move money from that account to your personal account and then spend from there. If it finishes on your personal account, you chill and wait for salary to come again. You are a staff as well. So please try as much as you can. Open a business account for yourself and dedicate it strictly to your business and your personal account. If money finishes there, you know that you are broke. Because the danger of merging these two things is that you don't know when you're out of money. You don't know when your business is doing well. You can't tell where you are financially as a person. Do you get? So a step towards getting your finance right is separating these two things. Then something else I need us to note is that sometimes when I write on social media, I am financial Jennifer, by the way, on IG, where I use mostly. So people will be like, I am always talking about salary earners. What are business owners? Personal finance is for everybody. It's not only for salary earners. Now, what you can do now, okay, like today, I read a post like, salary has entered. Where are we investing? People are like, I want to put that into business. What you can do now is like this. As a salary earner, I have a specific amount I earn in a month, and I can plan based on that and other income that comes in. Then, as a business owner, decide the particular amount you want to take out strictly for your savings and investments. Omobolaji described this well. Pay yourself first. So when we say pay yourself first, you're not saying they move money, use and enjoy life. No, that's not the pay yourself first we mean. We mean the one that is going into your savings, into your investments. Okay, maybe we are running some mutual funds on Cowrywise now. You can decide that every month I'm putting 20K into investment accounts. Investment accounts can be your account on Cowrywise. Maybe you have mutual funds like the Afro Invest mutual funds and so many other nice mutual funds on the app. So once at the end of the month or week, some days it's weekly, some days it's monthly, what you can do for your business profits, they move a certain amount. So if you're keeping your business books, you should know how much your business is making weekly or monthly. So you can decide that 10% of my profit, 20% of my profit, whatever works for you. But the point is that do not leave everything, but it is good to invest back into the business. It's good to plow back profit, but please keep something for yourself. You are paying salary, you are paying rent, you are paying your staff, you are paying a whole lot of things. What are you paying yourself? Don't cheat yourself, we shouldn't cheat ourselves. So the only way you can do this is to pay yourself first. Omobolaji already explained that. Okay, I understand that as business owners, we are very busy. Some of us may not have time to actively do some of these investments and monitor it. There are investments you can run. Like it doesn't really need much of your time. All you need is like get the basic understanding and all of that. So let's talk about stocks. You might decide that, okay, as a business owner, I want to be investing in the stock market, be it Nigerian stock or global stock. So most times to get the best out of these things, you have to think long term. So if, for example, I decide that my investments now is I'm investing for long term, let's say in the next 5 years, 10 years, I'm not touching my portfolio. So what I can do now is any money that is going in there, I'm not bothered about is the market going up, is the market going down? No, I don't care. So once at the end of the month, if I decide that it's 20K, like 20% of my profit that is going into investment, I can just take it straight to the stock market, put it there and go away. So mutual funds, put it there and go away. So no matter how busy you are, there are investments for you. If I do ETFs, if you don't have the time to be picking stock, do ETFs. So when ETF is like, some of us we know what ETFs mean, but if you don't know, ETF is like a collection of different stock. You get a collection of different stock. Let's say a basket. Let's call it a basket. So if you're investing in an ETF, you are getting a tiny stake in all the stocks in that ETF. Okay, so what happens there now is that you are not tasked with the responsibility of picking the stocks to invest in. There are already experts that are doing the work, that asset management houses that can do all of this. So decide on the ones you want to invest in. There are so many of them. We have VOO. VOO tracks the top 500 companies in the stock market. Yeah, somebody says example S&P 500. Perfect. VOO is an example of ETF. There are so many ETF that invest in S&P 500. VOO is one. We have VGT. We have Hack. Hack invests in cybersecurity, and I think Hack have returned over 20% annually. Exchange traded fund, that's the meaning. Exchange traded fund. So these are the investments that are ideal for business owners. So you can do it. I don't know, Cowrywise, does it have automated feature? So some of these platforms have an automated feature that you may not even have. Just give them instruction. At a month end, automatically they are moving the money from your account straight to your investment account. So you have to plan these things. I hope I'm not overshooting my time. Exactly, perfect. Cowrywise has automated feature. So give them instruction. Month end, remove 50K from my account, remove 20K from my business account, remove 5K, move it to so and so mutual fund. Do you get? And because you know that you're investing for long term, you're not even interested. These mutual funds, okay, most mutual funds lately this year, they have not really done so well. Yeah, they've not really done so well, but we are not concerned because you know that our target is long term. Okay. So these are ways that you can help yourself. I love how Omobolaji mentioned going cashless. That's for business owners, to keep things in track. Automation will also help. You are busy, give your bank instruction. Automate it on these platforms you use. Do you get? So these things would help you when it comes to investing. I know that some investors that might need you to be actively involved. Let's say cryptocurrency, if you want to trade or what. But even that crypto, you might decide to be investing for long term as well. So I don't know the excuse you have as a business person that you're not investing in this. And savings is great. Yes, we need to. Many of us save more than we invest. But remember, with the inflation rate, savings is not even paying us. Seriously, as Nigerians, inflation rate is over 16%. So saving money will not even pay us. 300K last 10 years is probably 100 and something this year. So as you save, try to invest it in investment portfolio. Does Cowrywise has ETF? The last I checked, I don't think. Otherwise, people have ETF. I don't think. I think Cowrywise is mostly for mutual funds. I'm answering somebody's question. I shouldn't be the person answering this question. But hello, I'm a happy customer of Cowrywise. So at least an extent I know. So these are the few things I needed to point out. Number one, as much as possible, try to separate yourself from your business. I'm giving you as a task now. On Monday, start processing your business account. Maybe if your business is not yet registered, just dedicate to one of your accounts. If you have only one account, in fact, go and open another service account and start using it for business. In fact, a little background. When people ask me, Jennifer, when do you start all this, your investments, personal finance stuff? Now, condition make crayfish bend though. I didn't just wake up one day. I think that was before now. I was working as an accountant. I'm a chartered accountant. I was selling hair. I was doing some writing jobs. I was doing some social media work. Like, I have a whole lot of things I'm doing. And I wouldn't lie, money was coming in. I was making money, decent money. But at the end of the day, I can't see what I achieved with my money. Like, sorry, it's getting dark here. I had to be somewhere like urgently, so I couldn't miss this section. Pardon me if I'm in a vehicle, and that's to show you that no matter I don't want to have any excuse for missing this. I can see it's getting a bit dark where I am. So I was making good money, but I can't tell what I'm doing with money. I know how much I earn, and I still see people that earn less than I do making serious moves. Do you get? People come to you as a chartered accountant, that Jenny, can you help me do this, do that? You help people like take charge of your business record. But at the end of the day, your own money, you can't tell what you're doing with it. Like, I have to tell myself, see, babe, you have to wake up. So that's why I said, like, okay, I need to talk to myself. I need to tell myself the truth. If I continue this way, it's going to be a rat race. You know what they call rat race? Like, you're from what do they call it? English people, help me. Rat race. You keep rolling around. The salary comes before month the salary has finished. You're waiting for the next salary. It comes in. You pay down debt. It's a rat race. But trust me, when you 9-to-5 job, I have a 9-to-5 job. I work with an investment bank. Many of us earn good salary, but we can't account for it. Vicious circle, exactly, that's what I mean. So please, I'm going to end on this note. As a business owner, if you don't take care of yourself, your business will not take care of you. Seriously, it's as simple as that. Okay, I'm going to stop now and let's take questions. Is there any questions? Sorry, I'm sorry, I need to be out of the callers very soon. So hi, Bolaji, who are we speaking with? Okay.
Hi, Jenny.
That's all for me. This is not fair. See where you are, very bright. Says you fine. It's bright. Oh, in fact, I don't vex. Okay.
It's fine, Jare. We could hear you, and that's the most important thing, right? So thank you so much, Jennifer. Like, I always love your energy. Like, I took, notes as well from your session. So, as we did after Omobolaji's session, if you learned anything, which I'm very sure that you did, please leave it in the chat box. I would also share, let me just share one thing, that I've taken down from what you said because of time, so that we can move on and take questions, and then you can go ahead and do what you said that you have to do. But one thing that I took from what you said was, a lot of people just stop at pay yourself first. But after you pay yourself as a business person, what next? What do you do with that money? And I like how you were practical and you said save and invest that money. So it's not just that your money, your business is making profits, and you just feel like, yes, we're growing and all that. But your personal finance, you pay yourself a salary and you just spend everything. That's not how to grow wealth. Wealth that lasts, last generationally, that your children can come and meet money and their children can come and meet money, right? If you keep spending that money, nobody will be able to enjoy the work that you did, right? So don't just stop as, pay yourself first. But when I pay myself as a business person, I must save and I must invest, right, a part of that money. That's something that I would definitely take away, because sometimes, these cliche things and some cliche statements, it's not that they are wrong, it's just that they don't break it down for us to really understand what they really mean. So don't just pay yourself, but pay yourself so that you can save and so that you can invest. So please, if you have questions, leave them now so that Jennifer and Omobolaji will be able to take them, right? And then they can go ahead and do other things that they have for their evening. For Jennifer, if you have any specific questions for Jennifer, please ask in the comments so that she can take hers. And then if there are any for Omobolaji as well, we will take that. Any questions? So I saw there was a question on if Cowrywise has ETFs. So as Jennifer mentioned, ETF is like a a I would say baskets, because in our office we use basket a lot, like of different funds, right? So on Cowrywise, you might not know this, but if you use Cowrywise, the emergency fund section is actually an index fund. So an index fund is very similar to an ETF, right? Where like it's a basket of different funds, and the interest or returns that you earn from that fund is as a result of different funds put together, right? So if you have an emergency plan on Cowrywise, it's actually an index of 4 different money market funds. I don't want to get too technical this evening with like definitions and all of that. So someone is asking where they can buy ETF or stock. Somebody else is saying, Jennifer, it's fine if you don't put on your video. I'm sure that we can hear.
Yeah.
Jennifer, please, what's the best investment option for beginners and how can we access them?
Okay, so investment is not something I can come up front and tell you go and invest in this or that. That things you have to consider. Number one, you want to understand how long do you want this investment to be, the duration, and you got to understand what is my risk appetite, because you know you have different risk appetite. There are some investments that are high risk. And I'm thinking forex, I'm thinking cryptocurrency and all of that. The medium-term investments, I'm thinking stock, and then there are low-risk investments, or the treasury bills and government bonds. And so if, I don't know, like now, the one I normally recommend, like my favorite type of investment, everybody already know, is stock. By the way, I work with a brokerage company, so stocks and ETF. So if you're a beginner and you're looking for a long-term investment where you can build your wealth over time, consider stock investments. Just take time, read about these things. There are so many platforms you can use for them. For global stock, we have platforms like Bamboo. We have Portfolio. We have True. These are nice stock. Then for Nigerian stock, you can get Afri Investor. It's a platform by Afri Invest Asset Manager, Afri Invest Securities. So you can just sign up on this platform. Take time to read about these things. You can start with ETF. Actually, you know, when you are not sure of which platforms for global stock, consider Bamboo or Portfolio or Truth. They are great. Then for Nigerian stock, you can get Afri Investor. And then if you're not sure of the ones to start with, you can start with ETFs. Like, because ETF is like mutual funds in a way, in the sense that the work has been done for us already. So all we have to do is just invest. So you can start with ETF like VOO, VGT, HAC, VTI. So these are great ETFs that have been doing well. And then for stock, there are all these global companies that are nice companies. We have Netflix, we have Tesla, Amazon. All of us, Apple, we use these products day by day, but we don't know that we can actually invest in there. We can be a part owner there. So as a beginner, you can consider this. The stocks and ETFs are great, but note they are long-term investments, please. And you can start with any amount. Remember, fractional shares. Any amount you have can buy you a fraction of a particular stock. I hope I answered that question.
Okay, so I would take, yes, you did. Thank you so much, Jennifer. So I'll take one more question for you. What is the shortest duration for a long term? So we always say long term, invest for the long term. But when is the shortest?
Okay.
When is the shortest duration?
Standardly, we say anything that is above, let's say, 1 year or 2 years is already long term. Like sometimes we say treasury bills are short term because they're like 3 months, 6 months. But once it's get to a year, 2 years is long term. But the truth of the matter is what I tell people: if you're looking at the stock market, give it at least 5 years. At least 5 years, because some stocks may not return that much, but over time they will blow your mind. So if you're for shorter terms, you can consider mutual funds. I believe all of us are using Cowrywise already. Mutual funds are great for you because you can liquidate anytime you want. So if it's stocks, my personal opinion, at least 5 years. That's my definition of long term. In fact, as a day like this for me now, 10 years, I'm not touching my portfolio.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for your time. I don't want to keep, keeping you here. I would, the other questions we would take for Omobolaji, but, it's been such a good time listening to you. Thank you for making time. Thank you for also answering the questions. Thank you. That's really what I have
Yeah,
to say.
thanks for the invite. I really appreciate. My guys, Omobolaji, that was a brilliant section. Like, I love the way she summarized everything brilliantly. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And thank you, Cowrywise, for the invite. Keep helping us to invest our money at this junction.
Yeah.
I have to disappear. We can catch up on social media after this. Financial Jennifer on Instagram. We can catch up there. Bye, everyone. Have a restful and
Bye, Jennifer.
nice weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Have a great
Thank you,
evening.
Jennifer.
Thank you. All right, guys. So we are not done yet. We still have like 15 minutes. So if you have other questions, you can ask, right? But so I wanted to also clarify. A lot of people here might not understand in depthly what mutual funds are, and Jennifer talked about stocks, right? So for mutual funds, there are as most people understand them, there are low risk mutual funds, there are medium risk, they are called balanced funds, and then there are high risk mutual funds, those are called like aggressive funds. The aggressive funds, right, are actually made up of mostly stocks, right? So remember that mutual funds is like a basket of different types of assets, right? If you are listening, if you are following, can you show by leaving something in the chat box, or I don't know, leaving an emoji? Okay, awesome. Yeah, so mutual funds have low risk. So the low risk ones are like money market funds, treasury bills, things that essentially are sort of short term, so less than a year, right? And are very low risk. Balanced funds, which are like the middle guys, are a mix of low risk funds and high risk funds, aggressive. And then aggressive, which is like the big brother, are made up of different types of stocks, right? So, somebody said, what is the best way for me to start as a beginner? Mutual funds are a great option for you to start as a beginner. Why? Because when you start investing, you don't want to start investing in things that you have to be actively involved in. When I mean actively, you don't want to be thinking about it every day. You remember that you already have a business, you already have a life, right? So you want to do something that you can easily put your money and sort of know that you are safe and there is no issue whatsoever. So that's an option that mutual funds give you. I just wanted to make that clarification. Then Jennifer mentioned the importance of understanding your risk appetite before you start investing. So if you want to understand your risk appetite, or your risk profile, what it means is, as an investor, am I somebody that I'm more low risk? So when I put my money in, like, I'm that person who just started investing, so I don't understand too much, so I don't want to play with my money. If I put my money in, I want to make sure that my capital, I would get my capital back and all that. Medium risk investors are people that they've been investing for a while, so they are not afraid to lose for the short term, but still gain in the long term. Remember that Jennifer said she's even thinking 10 years. So by the time some people are saying, hey, this one has gone down, this one is this one is that, she's not bothered, because she's thinking through, how am I going to make this money back, like in the next 10 years, right? And then if you are the person who has like high risk, I said high risk, if you're the person whose appetite, like you don't mind taking adventures with investment, then we'll call you the person who is sort of like a high risk investor, right? So if you want to take the test, we've made it easy. I'm dropping a link in the chat box now. You can copy that and go right now. Okay, maybe not right now, wait till we finish. But you can take the test, right? this link has like some questions, simple questions really, that you can answer in less than like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, that will help you understand the kind of investor that you are. Because I find that in Nigeria, so much is going on, so much is being said about investments that everybody just wants to invest. But do you even know how you are as a person when it comes to investment? If you want to know, this is the link for you. I've put it in the chat box. Make sure that you copy it and that you take the test, right? So I would look through questions. If you have questions for Omobolaji, now is the time. Jennifer didn't have much time, so she had to step out. But if you have any questions for Omobolaji, can you put them in the chat box? I'm also looking through previous questions. I saw one on personal. Okay, so Omobolaji, our finance manager at Cowrywise, can you recommend personal finance tools or apps that would help us to better manage our money? Omobolaji, please can you answer that?
So thank you so much. I'm happy to be back. So I would recommend Cowrywise. So don't say because I work at Cowrywise. It's because some of the explanations that Omobolaji gave about knowing your risk appetite, that risk assessment test, makes Cowrywise app a very great tool for you to know whether you are a low risk taker, or you are in the medium spectrum, or you are aggressive in your risk taking. Then this risk assessment also has to do with your age. When you are young, you're advised to take more risk because you have like a longer duration. You're expected to live longer. But if you are middle age, then you might want to go for the medium risk kind of investment. Or if you are older, above 50, no one will recommend, no financial person or professional will recommend that you go for aggressive, so you do not lose the capital. Because one thing about aggressive investment securities are that there's a chance of you losing that capital and you don't have so much time to recover it. But as a young person, even if the stock fluctuates, you have enough time. Like if you can wait for like about 10 years, you have enough time to recover all of the losses that you might have suffered during the period. But a very old person or someone above 50 might not have that chance, although we all pray to live long. The one thing about taking that assessment on Cowrywise is that once you take that assessment, and we'll be able to help you determine your risk appetite, you are giving suggestions as to the kind of mutual funds, for instance, that you can invest in. Those that have low risk, if you're a low risk taker, something that has a medium risk, if you fall into that bracket, or those that are aggressive. And those ones that are aggressive are usually stocks, equity, and what have you. So if you're able to use that app, then making decisions about which ones you use, because sincerely, as investors, we don't have the time and expertise to sit down and evaluate every investment options. You don't have the time to say, okay, if I put my money here, how much am I going to earn? What is the covariance of this investment? What is of this investment to another investment, and all sorts of technical concepts and jargons. But the reason why we have financial intermediaries like Cowrywise is because in Cowrywise we have portfolio managers that have the necessary expertise to consider all of these factors, and have the time also to consider all of these factors and help you determine which one are safe for you to invest in and which one aren't. So there are others really, but I'm a customer of Cowrywise too, although I work with Cowrywise, and I think that works perfectly well, especially when it comes to that risk-taking thing, because you don't just want to put your money in any investment when you are not sure what your risk appetite is. So for a low risk taker now, you want capital maintenance. You want to preserve your capital and possibly maybe earn a little return. So in that instance, you'll not be advised to put your money in stock, and maybe in a year's time, we don't know, maybe an economic meltdown or something, your investments went way down, and the next day you're at the hospital, checking your BP. So it's because you're a low risk taker. That's why that is your reaction to that fluctuation. But assuming you're aggressive, okay, you're in this for a long time, so you just leave it there and close your eyes and in time, the portfolio will recover or the investment will recover and you're able to pay above your investment and even a huge return. So that's what I would like to say about that.
Thank you so much, Omobolaji. So it's almost time, for us to, round this up, but I'll just take one more question. So Oluwaseun asked, how do you advise someone who does not have a source of income to save and then go on to invest?
Okay, I think I will not say it's a simple response or simple answer, but it is also simple. So you cannot save if you do not have income. So the very basic step you need to take is to have a means of generating income. So it could be by being engaged in a full-time work, that's a 9 to 5, or it could be by maybe having a business. Mostly businesses are established to meet particular needs. So maybe you look around your environment and you notice a particular need. Like I was talking to a friend of mine recent, and he was telling me that in his area, he notices that there are big supermarkets, and so many people, so they would not want to patronize that supermarket. But since that is what's available, that's where they go to buy. So he's thinking of opening a shop. Okay, that is like a mini mart, and when you compare the price of such a mini mart to a supermarket, definitely the prices will be different, and he'll still be making his profit. The goods in the supermarket, they will take AC. So that's part of the price. and they will have more employees, people that are ready to help you. Maybe you have questions, maybe you're looking for a particular product. So those are the things that increases the prices of goods at the supermarket. So I'm not discouraging you buying from the supermarket, but I'm trying to just let you see that identify that need, that there are so many other people that would love to buy cheaper, or cheaply, and because the only option they have is going to a supermarket, that's where they get to buy. So if you can meet that need by creating like a shop or a mini market, then more people will come to him and his price is lesser. And so that's another thing we can do. So we can just look around us. What is that thing that people will need here? Like I was also having a conversation with another friend of mine, and the person was saying, look at some people that are unemployed. So there are some workers that have children that go to school that a little bit farther away from home, and they might have to even engage a driver to drive their kids to the school, and that is expensive, or even maybe a school bus payment or something. But if you notice that there are a couple of students around your area that goes to the same school and you have a means of transportation, you can approach such parents and say, let's negotiate. Let's say they are paying 30,000 naira to their driver. Okay, I'll take 15,000 naira a month or 10,000, and like about five students is joining you comfortably in that car. You drive them there in the afternoon, you go take them back. You ease the parents' worries about getting their children to school and taking them back home. And you also save them costs, because if they have to engage a driver, they will be paying more. And if they have to pay school bus, they also will be paying more. But now, it's a win-win. So you have income and they have lesser expense. So there are a couple of things, but the first basic thing is for you to have a means of generating income.
So good. Thank you so much for that, Omobolaji. I totally agree. At Cowrywise, we're not one of those people that just preach, save and invest, save and invest. No, if you're not earning money, how are you going to save and invest, right? And I love, where Omobolaji took it from, that at the end of it, the way to earn money or the way to do well in business is if you are a solution to a problem. If you are helping people to solve a problem, they say that you can never go broke, right? And like Nigeria, if you look around, trust me, there's always a problem to solve. You just need to look around. There's always a problem to solve, I promise you, right? So first think about, how do you earn money? How do you earn that money consistently? When you are doing well enough, right, with that, then start considering saving and investing. Don't worry too much about saving and investing if you've not started, earning money consistently. All right, so I think that will be the last question. Any other questions? Hopefully, we'll be able to take in another session. But for today, that will be the last question. We have just a few more minutes, right? And for everyone here, right, I want you to take away this assignment. Of course, I will not be marking it because I don't have access to everybody personally, right? But this is an assignment for you. If you have a business, right, or you intend to start a business, separate your personal funds from your business fund. That's your assignment. Do not merge everything together. Do not say, I know Jare Shebi, everything in my account is 100K, but in that 100K, 20,000 is my own, 15 is this one. That one, no, like ensure, right, that you separate your personal funds from your business funds. Then the last, okay, that's the first assignment. The second assignment, I would say, is something that Omobolaji shared during her session. And since you registered, we would actually share the slides with you because someone had asked a question about something that was on your slide, right, that they missed. So we will share that with you by email. But another assignment is to embrace the cashless policy. This might seem cliche. Again, it might be something that you've heard so much, but beyond even embracing the cashless policy, I would say flow with the times, right? So a lot is happening. Don't just sit down on your own and say, oh, I beg, it's confusing, everything, too much information out there, I'll just be on my own. When the world is quiet, the world will never be quiet, right? It is your assignment to embrace how the world is moving, to take, the different things that the world is doing now and embrace it, right? With your business, make sure that, everything as much as possible is cashless, so that you can always talk about how you should take notes, right? Take receipts, do all those things that are necessary to ensure that like nobody is stealing from you or that you're not even stealing from yourself, right? So that's important. So 2 assignments. Number 1, separate your business funds from your personal funds. And number 2, flow with the times, right? Embrace the cashless, society generally. And then, make sure that you're not one person that you're just sitting on the fence and you're like, there's just too much information, I'm getting confused. Yes, information might be too much, but it is your own assignment to make sure that you go and get the one that is useful for you, useful for your business, and then you can then grow from there, right? And finally, Omobolaji talked about how, she recommended Cowrywise as a tool for personal finance. I'm also going to recommend our blog. I've put the link in the chat box. One thing I love about Cowrywise, I'm not going to talk too much, we'll soon be done, right, is that we're not just about, come and do this, come and do that, but we actually teach you how. We like to break things down. So if you're confused about any topic, you see this link that I've shared with you, go to that blog and search for something, search for investments for beginners, search for how to save money, search for something, and I'm sure that you would find at least one blog post, right, that would be helpful. But don't stop there. After you have then, read the blog post, take action. If you don't have a Cowrywise account, sign up. Let me share a sign up link with you before we go. Sign up, start saving, start investing, separate your business account. Cowrywise is a perfect tool really to I'm getting distracted. It's a perfect tool to put your personal funds in. So if you're that person that you don't want to open so many bank accounts and all of that, right, use your Cowrywise as your tool for personal funds, and then there's your traditional bank for maybe like your business, right? So yeah, with that, I hope as Omobolaji ended our session that I have been able to well, how do they say it? I'm able to convince you and not confuse you that you should separate your personal funds from your business funds and to use Cowrywise to change your personal finance game. So yeah, I'm seeing some things in the chat box. Yes, we would share the recorded version of today's session. What else? The slides as well. Yes, we'll share the slides. So thank you, everyone. Before you leave, let's say thank you to Omobolaji in the chat box, and then we would end this session. Can we say thank you, Omobolaji? Thank you, Omobolaji, my namesake. Thank you, Omobolaji. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you too. Thank you so much for making time. We never take it for granted that people join us for Simplified, never. That you have decided to use your 1 hour. Your 1 hour is so important that you're spending this time with us. So thank you, everyone. Have an amazing evening ahead and an amazing weekend ahead as well.